So the first question that you have is how does one best learn a foreign language? And I want to tell you that this is a question that people are still studying, still doing research on. So there's a lot that we have left to learn. And maybe if you come to the university one day and you go on to graduate school, you do research, you'll help answer this question yourself. But for now, what I can say to you is the best way to learn a language is to use the language. And to use the language to talk to people, to communicate with people, to solve problems with people like you're doing in project-based learning, to create something together with someone. So how do you learn your first language? You learn your first language by listening to it, using it, communicating what you need, trying to understand what other people are trying to communicate to you. You use it for a purpose. So a lot of people will say, I want to learn Spanish, so I'm going to buy Rosetta Stone, or I'm going to download an app and I'm going to learn Spanish that way. I don't want to discourage anything like that, because memorizing vocabulary, practicing your grammar rules, all of those things, they're helpful, of course. But what's missing in an app like that, and what's missing in Rosetta Stone, is the actual back and forth communication with a real person for a real purpose. You want to use the language not just to be using the language, but to achieve something. And achieving that something might be forming a friendship. It might be preparing a presentation together that you have to give to a client. The purpose could be simply to make the other person laugh, for entertainment purposes. Whatever the purpose is, if it's authentic, you use the language not to practice Spanish, but to achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. So in a classroom, something like if you want to survey your classmates and find out what do they like to do, what does the majority of people in your class like to do on the weekends? You don't know that. You need to find that out, and you use Spanish to find that out. If maybe your class doesn't know, let's just say something about geography in Latin America, and you have a project and you have a presentation that you have to do about that. Well, you need to use Spanish to look up that information, talk about that information, decide what information you're going to share, put it in order. You're using the language to do something, not just to practice the language.